So, this is another one of my talks. I find that walking is very good to calm down. Thinking about the poem by one of my favorite poets, Dylan Thomas, I've been acquainted with the night. And I think I've been acquainted with the night in more ways than one. Night is a metaphor for a certain darkness, a certain lack of enlightenment, the opposite of light. While I've been trying to teach high school English, and of course they put me with the weakest pupils who don't have any interest or motivation to learn English. And I've been trying to motivate them to learn. I brought a beautiful song once or twice, and this is Israeli society typical, sitting around and doing nothing and talking a lot. Very verbal society, but the verbal skills don't necessarily indicate a quality. It's kind of, must say that there are a lot of intelligent people living in this country, but I don't seem to have run into them. And certainly not where I'm teaching. Have I seen any light bulbs go off? Sort of like bing, bing. Here and there I see a pupil who wants to learn. I have to say of all the pupils I run into, I'm very impressed that one or two manages to survive the cynical atmosphere of lack of curiosity in anything besides mobile phones and things that interest teenagers all around the world. And sort of disappointed because I thought it was a religious school. I thought it was a place where people learn values, to respect people, and they just have such bad language. And just so sad when people don't want to change their environment, when they don't want to change, when they don't want to grow. That's what I mean. Not to change, more to grow. When young people, teenagers, just look, this guy's walking, jaywalking. See this? A lot of people that are very, 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 very disturbed in this city. Look, he's just standing in this center. He's just standing there shouting something. He's paranoid, schizophrenic, and he's cursing. Yeah, I just ran into one of the city's mentally ill people who are running around free. Yeah, just talking, and to be honest, it's hard to tell who's normal and who's crazy here. And mostly I've been told I'm crazy to come back here. And probably that's true. There are a lot of dogs here. And I don't know what to make of that. I have 2 dogs too now. I've just adopted my second one when I came back, making it impossible for me to leave very easily. And see here, like you get a dog and then you just tie it outside while you go to the supermarket. Why is that? Because you're a selfish person. Because they are forced to sit there and look, very nice. So having a dog doesn't mean you're a nice person. And treating a dog like this just means you're an asshole. But that's, you know, that's people all over the world. It's not something typical here. But what I do find positive here is it's mostly warm. I haven't needed to actually dress very warm because it's winter. It's almost December and it hardly rained. So look, now it's Wednesday evening, and look, people, I mean, despite the average salary being extremely low compared to other countries, people seem to have a lot of money to spend. You know, look, very young people, and they're drinking beers. Look, it's full, packed. Do they have to work tomorrow? I don't know. Here's another dog enjoying watching football. I mean, this could have been Berlin. Except that I think people in Europe actually do work in the morning and don't go out during the week in such big masses. Of course, the loud music will make sure that elderly people will not be attending here any of the wonderful nightlife. To be honest, Tel Aviv advertises itself as the city that doesn't sleep, but it's basically the city that doesn't stop talking, doesn't stop putting loud music on, doesn't stop making noise, beeping and whatever. That I would say, but not necessarily in a positive way. Here we have another important aspect of living in Israel is these mineral water bottles. So I have one. And the reason being is that despite extremely successful scientific discoveries, including several Nobel Prizes, none of the Israeli scientists have managed to develop a way of making it possible to drink tap water without suffering from some sort of intestinal disorder, some sort of a disease, because this water is so contaminated. And the same goes for the ocean and the river just down here, that I don't know how any fish survives. They must be really strong to survive. And the pollution is very high. What else can I say? And there's a lot of people just going in the middle of the street on skateboards. Because a lot of people think at 20 or 30 that they're like 12 years old. And also a lot of people on electrical bicycles. During the day, it's impossible for me to have walked here and talked because it's full of electrical bicycles speeding by. Last week, a dog was run over by a hit and run and died shortly afterwards. People just ride these electrical bicycles without even thinking of other people. And look, the cars are parked. In other countries, they would get a fine. They just park their cars. So many cars here, and yet they have such low salaries. Nobody understands why. I've never owned a car, so I'm surprised by it. The reason I don't own a car, because A, I never had a job that made it possible for me to spend money on things other than basic living expenses. And this, and the other thing is that, the other reason being is that I like the planet Earth and I want to keep it clean, and I don't think that driving cars is going to help us keep our planet in a good condition. So look, parking, and we've been cutting down the trees. So in the street where I live, like about 3 trees, the municipality just goes by and they see the trees and they just shave off half the tree and just leaves the streets without trees. Why is that? Electrical wires maybe, because electricity is more important than a tree. And look, another one, look. They just butchered it. And it says in the Bible that a man is like a tree. But look at this.